All right, so Fantastic Four #1 is the key issue that made me quit collecting key issues.
All right, it's 2025. Are key issue comics affordable yet? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy GemMint, and about 10 years ago, I used to collect key issue comic books. This was during the infancy of the MCU. They would introduce new and exciting characters to live action for the first time, and their first appearances in other key issues would skyrocket. Now, I was also of the CGC forums around this time. It's actually where I learned a lot of my comic book knowledge, and seasoned collectors would warn that this bubble is gonna burst. I remember thinking, good, I hope it does, because I just want the books. I don't really care how much they're worth. They're actually too expensive now, and I wish I could afford all of them. But it got me thinking, 10 years later, are these key issues more affordable now than they were then? Well, today we're going to take a look at GP analysis, aka GPA, and we're going to take a look at some of my old keys that I used to own. I'm going to talk about what I spent back then, and we're going to go back in time on GPA to fact check and what they're going for now. But before we do all that, I am in the arcade, and I kind of got to check up on my game real quick. I've been on this Marvel Strike Force on my phone. It's the ultimate squad-based RPG with that turn-based combat style. This is a free game that you can download and build up your favorite team of superheroes in order to save the universe against threats like Doctor Doom and Apocalypse. Like your typical RPG, your goal is to power up your favorite characters, complete missions, unlock gear and other resources, and beat other players in PvP modes such as Alliance War and Arena. Right off the bat, you start off with my favorite character, Spider-Man, but you can also get Iron Man, Wolverine, Venom, and much more. You can power your characters up in game modes like campaigns, arena, and blitz, and you can even unlock up to 17 new characters within the first 30 days. Synergy and team composition is a game changer in Marvel Strike Force. You can elevate the overall effectiveness of your squad. Characters often possess unique abilities that boost their teammates, especially ones that are from the same faction, like the Avengers or X-Men. This intricate layer of synergy and team composition introduces a level of strategic depth that keeps gameplay dynamic and engaging. You gotta assemble a well-balanced team, where each character's strengths amplify those of their allies. It's the key to mastering Marvel Strike Force and unlocking its full tactical potential. Marvel Strike Force just celebrated its 7th anniversary, and there's still awesome rewards to unlock. For a limited time only, you can use promo code 7 to unlock Nightcrawler and Cyclops for free. Use my link in the description and in the pinned comment, or scan the QR code to download Marvel Strike Force, and let's jump into these key issues. Here we are over at GP Analysis. It's a site that tracks the sales from CGC comic books. I believe they only do CGC, and I don't know where they pull from. It used to be eBay and other auction houses, but things have changed over the years. I'm a little bit out of the loop. Anyway, I'm trying to find Amazing Spider-Man. I want to pull up Amazing Spider-Man 300 because I remember off the top that was always a $1,000 book, maybe $900, maybe $1,100, and then it started going crazy when the Venom movie started to pop off, and it kind of got even crazier when it came to the newsstand edition. Now, I never owned a newsstand of ASM 300, but let's take a look to see what it goes for in 2025 if I could find ASM the main run. All right, here it goes. Amazing Spider-Man, the 1963, 642 issues. We're going to go right smack dab in the middle for 300. Shout out to Todd McFarlane. Shout out to Frank Miller, 300. Anyway, let's take a look at this. I'm a little bit rusty. I have not checked any of these prices. I actually just re-subscribed to GPA just for this video. So let's look at 9.8s, $1,000 book, and we're going for a 9.8 blue. Blue ski. First full appearance of Venom. Newsstand edition. Wow, so they separate newsstand now. All right, so here we are. The last sale, April of 2025, this month, $2,500. So still $1,500 more than what it was going for on average. Dang, this doesn't even go back as far as I hoped that it would go. So the 90-day average is 26. I forget how to do this. Can we drop down? Yeah, we could drop down, right? Yeah, see, 2015 is when I was in the mix. Average, what'd I tell you? Average price, $1,100. Here we go, a little bit earlier. What is this? 2016 even. Oh, let's go back, 2015. Let's go to April of 2015. Well, that's the 10-year mark. Yeah, $1,100. Price range $950. What did I say? I didn't even check this. So that's Amazing Spider-Man 300. All right, these are going to be fun to look at. X-Men 1 and Giant Size X-Men 1. I'll never forget that X-Men 1 I purchased off the CGC forums, and it was the most expensive purchase that I've ever done that wasn't through eBay or through Sideshow. I don't even think I bought statues at this time. It was just under $1,000. I think I paid $900 if I recall. It was a 1.0. It was a detached cover. It might be hard to find comps on that, but we're going to take a look. And Giant Size X-Men 1 in a 6.5. I'll never forget. I paid $450, and this was an eBay purchase. So let's look up X-Men 1 first. All right, now it's always a confusing thing with, is it X-Men? Is it Uncanny X-Men? I'm pretty sure it wasn't Uncanny X-Men until like 142. All right, so it's going to be X-Men, comma, the X-Men. See, 1960, see, 141 issues, because in 142, part 2 of Days of Future Past, it becomes technically the Uncanny X-Men, although I think it was saying Uncanny X-Men in the trade dress in issues prior to that, but anyway, it's neither here nor there. So a 1.0, what was is this it? This has got to be it, right? So 0.5s, 1.0s and coverless, that's always going to be difficult, but here you go. Universal Blue 1.0, last sale in March, 3,100. 90-day average is 32. What is this? 12-month average is 3,500. Last year's average, I think that's what it is. I have to look at the top. Let's drill down to see if we're keeping me honest here. So 2025, look at this. Damn, I'm good. $900, $850. Let's say April for shits and giggles. Oh, it wasn't even a sale. Right on the money. So $900. So we're talking about 10-year difference. Even though the market is down, it's still way up from when I was collecting these keys. All right, so that's... Actually, I need to keep this open because I have another X-Men 1 I want to take a look at. Let's jump into Giant Size. It used to be that you didn't put the dash. I don't know how they've updated this stuff. All right, so Giant Size X-Men. Okay, here we go. Giant Size X-Men 1, 1975. Yeah, because there was a Giant Size X-Men 2 as well. Nobody cares about Giant Size X-Men 2, huh? All right, so what did I have this in? A 6.5. I said I paid $450 around 2014, 2015. 6.5 Universal Blue. 1,600 is the last sale. 1,788 is the 90-day. 1,891 is the 12-month average. And let's drill down. 2015-ish. Yeah, 466 to 452. Here's April. Here's 10 years ago. 650. What did I say? 450 or I said 650, right? I think I said 450. I could have got it a little bit earlier. It could have been 2013, 2014. This was one of the first keys I got. All right, like I said, I had another X-Men 1. I actually upgraded. I sold my 1.0, and I got this 3.5 from my boy 4Comics over on IG. And I swear I remember paying $1,800 for this. $1,800 for the 3.5. Let's see where we're at now. He might have given me a good deal. Maybe not. I guess we'll see, right? All right, 3.5. Give me a regular one. All right, boom. 1,800. Last sale was $6,250. 90-day average is $6,500. 12-month average is $6,800. Where were we in 2014, 2015? Just to make sure I'm not BSing you. Average price $1,600. 1982 in April of 2014. See, I paid $1,800 for sure. Dang. So here's the problem. In the comic boom, I'm not trying to act like everything is all good. It was going for $15,000. So it's down less than half now, but still way up from where it was when I was in the game. This one's a good one to take a look at with Daredevil Born Again streaming right now. We have ASM 129, the first appearance of Frank Castle, the Punisher, and the Jackal, the 7.0. Now, if I recall, during this era, the 7.0s would go for $700. The 7.5s went for $750. The 6.5s went for $650. That's just kind of how it broke down. And I've had a couple of ASM 129s, but we're just going to use this one because I have a good picture of it. All right, cool. 129. Are you out of your mind? Let's see what they go for these days. All right, boom. Oh, look at this. Right to the 7.0. Wow, so really not that much more expensive, but still more, $1,350, and that's up, well, because of the show, obviously. So that's the last sale, $1,368 is the 90-day, $1,341 is the 12-month average, same as last year's 12-month average. And here we go, 2014, April of 2014, damn, hold on, average price $439, went for $360 to $500, so it went down a little bit. Maybe if I go to 2015 was more... Maybe when I had this book. It's a newer picture, as you can see. Yeah, 581, 520, 700. So this is me right here. August of 2015, it was going around 700. Yeah, and I was collecting like 2014 through 2016, and then I found the omnibus, and then I found all the statues from Sideshow, and then I didn't want key issues anymore. All right, cool. So that's ASM 129, around 700 when I had it. Now it's 1350. All right, now we're going to do 2 books, but it's really 4 books. It's another kind of affordable key, and this one definitely took off with the movies. ASM 361, the first appearance of Carnage. I got the first print, or I had, in 9.8 and the second printing. So let's pull up 361 really quick. This was always like a $300, $350 book in 9.8. And that second print, bro, I think it was like $150 back then. And that was before there was a lot of like, I don't want to say variant craze, but like Mark Jewelers craze, newsstand craze, second print craze. Second prints, when I was a kid, were totally worthless and garbage, strictly readers' copies, which I guess makes sense why they became valuable and high grade later, because nobody really kept them in high grade. It was trash. 9.8, wow. Unless I'm tripping on the price, we'll have to double check, but last sale 220. So far, unless I was mistaken, is the first book that's more affordable now than it was then. 220 is the last sale, 297 is the 90-day, 317 is the 12-month average. It's funny how this book's going to paint a different picture, right? So back in 2014, oh, you know what? I was thinking $350 book. Maybe I was thinking $150. Maybe it was $150 I was thinking. Because it looks to be like a $150 to like a $200 book back then. It wouldn't go to $300 until, well, 2016. So maybe it was more of around 2016. That could be. All right, let's see if it has the second printing. I think it's going to be a whole different category. Kind of how they had that junior press up top. Is this it? Oh. Second printing, 9.8. Okay, so still affordable. Damn, 134 was the last sale. About $200 on average. What was it back in those days? Here's, 2017. 150 to 320. All right, so safe to say, this book is more affordable. First and second print, more affordable than it was back in the day. And real quick, just because you never really see this, but the next issue, 362, first print and second print, both 9.8. I always loved how it was like just a slightly different version of the same cover. They have like those silver backgrounds. I don't remember what I paid for these back in the day. Maybe $50, $75 each. Let's take a look at what they're going for now. I'm thinking probably similar, man. I can't believe first appearance of Carnage. They just made so many of them, bro. Damn, 1,500 on the 10.0. Here's okay. Look, so $50, averaging 80. Is that the same thing that it was back in the days? Yes, yeah, 40 to 50 exactly. There's a big spike right here. This is probably my sale that I bought it. I break records on GPA, but not for selling. All right, yeah, so that's about the same. And then the second print, here's the second printing, 9.8. $82. Hasn't been a sale since October of last year. I might have paid like $100 for it back in the day. Oh, yeah, always like 50 to 60, $100. Where is this? 2018. 100, yeah, I think maybe $150, $200. You never see them for sale. All right, I showed you ASM 300. I don't know why that's the book I started off with, but what about ASM 301? Now, this was one of those books that's not really a key issue, and any other grade, it's super affordable, but the census count on 9.8s has always been super low, so the 9.8s would command a premium just because of the scarcity of that grade, which was kind of a whole new level of what CGC brought to key issues. And again, I'm talking in my 10-year-old mind. I don't know what shit looks like now, but it wasn't valuable until people realized that this shit never hits 9.8. So let's look really quick. Amazing Spider-Man, this is 300. Let's look at 301. I think I paid like $1,100 for this. I can't remember exactly how much. We'll see. It'll probably be somewhere around there. So 9.8, look at this. Last sale was $2,000. 90-day average is $1,400. Somebody overpaid just now. It's 12-month average is $1,500, and same as last year. So yeah, that's why it's good to have GPA, because $2,000 on the last sale, they paid $600 more than what it's going for. Now, back when I bought it around this time, bro, this might have been my sale. $777 sounds eerily familiar. Oh, definitely. I paid like $800. That is what it was. I paid around $800. I'll never forget. It was a big eBay purchase for me at the time, too. But that's when I was really hustling and flipping and buying and selling in order to get the things that I wanted. And this one, yeah, more than double what it's worth 10 years ago. All right, I got the shirt on. We got to do Deadpool, New Mutants 98 and a 9.8. I'll never forget this picture right here. I bought both of these off of the CGC forums. It was a direct market and a newsstand before anybody gave a damn about newsstands. I bought them both for $750 each. Now, that's not even the cheapest. Well, one of my first comic book purchasing and grading experiences was grabbing a near mint plus copy off of eBay. I bought it for $150. They were going for about $450 at the time. Submitted it with no press, came back at 9.8, sold it for $450, made money, and I swear it was like the next day or the day after, and that Deadpool teaser footage that wasn't supposed to go out, Ryan Reynolds leaked it, that went out and the book immediately jumped up to like a $1,000 book. It was a $1,500 book for a long time. I bought these two at $750 respectively. Let's see where it's at today. And we're in a post-Deadpool and Wolverine era. Damn, I find myself actually having a lot of fun doing this video, man. I used to talk key issues like this all the time. That's why I started doing the video with Comic Tom on the Hot 10, because I used to be really into keys. But honestly, I'm just not into it anymore, man. I'm actually thinking of a video of 3 collectibles I would never buy again, and slabs or key issues are kind of on that list. All right, New Mutants 98 and a 9.8. What are we looking like these days? I wonder if it has a newsstand separate as well. All right, so 9.8, we're looking at Universal Blue, $940. So still a little bit more expensive than when I bought these two, but it's down, man. You're going to all red arrows. See, the thing with this game was that you'll have green arrows where there's interest in the character. Leading up to Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm sure these arrows were green, and now that that's gone, it's over with. Nobody cares about Deadpool. You can pick it up on the low. So it's a $1,000 book on average, $1,100 last year. Let's just prove me right, I guess. 2014, yeah. So let's see. Look, $390 to $470. What I tell you is $450 after the announcement. Here's the $1,000 spike. Boom, and then it starts becoming around $1,000 book. When did it peak? $3,000 it went for in 2021. That's the comic boom. People had them stimmies. And a lot of disposable income. Does it separate the newsstand? Yeah, newsstand edition, $2,300, bro. So it's down, but I'm way up if I would have kept it, which of course I didn't. Paid $750. It's going for $2,300, pretty much on the average. Let's see if I can prove myself right again. Back in the day, look at this, $799 to $825 in 2017. I had mine way earlier. $820 in 2016. Told you. So not more affordable now. We got to do this one because it's the lone DC key that I have. And it's a good book, man. It's the first comic book appearance of Harley Quinn. It's a CGC 9.8. I don't remember what I bought it for, but I remember selling it for $2,500. I sold it to Speedy Comics. If you're an old school IG guy, he's still around too. Now this has had its ups and downs for sure. Let's look for Batman Adventures 12. I want to say maybe I got it for $1,600 or something like that. But I know this one should be more affordable now. All right, so you can tell this is it because it has 36 issues in this volume. Here's 12. The 9.8 is going for $1,625. I knew it would be down because this was like leading up to the Margot Robbie Suicide Squad and all that. This was in the heyday, averaging $1,700, $1,800 last year. Let's see, back in the 2015 era, yeah, $1,000, 2015. When did it spike up? Right around here, 2015. Yeah, see, this was my heyday. 2015, here's a spike, $2,250. I might have even sold it for $2,250. That kind of looks like a familiar sale. Look, it really peaked over here. Comic boom era, $4,551 is crazy. All right, so I don't know if I have a better picture of my Incredible Hulk 181 and the 4.0. This is the book that I bought when I sold my entire Spawn run. I had issues 1 through 242. I never forget. Every miniseries, and I think I had everything except for Sam and Twitch included in that lot. Variants, and it kind of ended. Like 242 was right around all those homage covers that I just bought off the shelves, and they ended up becoming super valuable later on. But I sold the entire run for like $1,000. And then I bought the Hulk 181 for $650 in a 4.0. There's no way that this book in this grade is more affordable now. All right, so it's going to be Incredible Hulk, the Or you can kind of just look for all the issues. See, 391 issues from 1962 to 1999. We're looking for 181. 4.0, 181. What's it looking like now? Hulk 181 is the long-term book, man. This is the book that it'll always go up in value, no matter what. It's just always going to be sought after. I wonder if we see red arrows now because it's, again, post Deadpool and Wolverine. It was probably on fire. So what did I have, a 4.0? That was my first one. I had actually a couple. We'll pull up a higher grade after this one. 4.0, $2,000. Same as the average. And last year it averaged $22.66. This was an eBay purchase too, so it should have my $650. It was early in the day too. It was $450, $592. This is 2014, $625, $678. It was one of these was my sale. Yeah, but then it started going up a little bit. But look at this. These are probably movie spikes, comic boom spikes. But yeah. Oh no, I said $650. Right? Yeah, so $650 back in the day, $2,000 now. Let me find my other copy. All right, I can't find a solo shot, but you can see it here. This was like my holy grail cabinet. This was when I had all the keys, and I'll talk more about why I stopped collecting keys when we get to Fantastic Four 1. But here goes my Hulk 181 in a 6.5. I'll never forget, I bought this for $1,250 from my boy Always Collecting, my boy Frank, Uncle Frank, over on Instagram. 6.5. What are we looking like almost 10 years later or whatever it was, in a blue universal grade look cracked case, Mark Jewelers insert. Here it is. So from $1,250 now, last sale was $2,900, averaging about the same, about $3,000 for the 12-month average. And yeah, let's go back in the day. So here we are back in 2015. It ranged from $1,000 to $1,100, $1,257 in 2015. That's probably right around the time when I bought it. So yeah, that one's doing way better. Let's take a look at the Avengers 1 in a 2.0. Now, if I recall, this was a crazy affordable book, but it started to catch a lot of attention with the Avengers becoming these huge figures in movies. I can't really recall. I want to say $1,600 on the 2.0. Let's see if it makes sense based on those sales around that time. So we'll do Avengers 1, and then we'll do Fantastic Four 1, and then AF-15, and I'll let you guys get out of here. All right, so Avengers, should be a whole gang of issues. 406 issues. All right. So what I have, a 2.0, I think it was like $1,600. I'm not really 100% on that one, but we shall see. Avengers 1, 2.0. Also, you don't see that many like 1.0s, 2.0s. I mean, 1,900 is the last sale. 1,700 is the 90-day and the 12-month average. So this book seems to be a little bit more affordable than back in the day. What did I say, 1,600? I might have been right around this area where it was like 1,200 to 1,750. Yeah, 1,200 to 1,500 bucks. So maybe I paid 1,600. Maybe I overpaid a little bit at the time, but still doing better than it was back then. Not as good, just a few $100 more, but that's Avengers. Let's look up Fantastic Four, which should be on the rise. All right, so Fantastic Four #1 is the key issue that made me quit collecting key issues. I bought this from the Bunky brothers over on the CGC forums, and what's funny about the Bunkies is I actually caught them on Whatnot not too long ago, and I bought a mystery pack from them, the one that had the Ultimate Spider-Man 1, and I got like a gold foil out of it. Everything was fine. It was cool. Shout out to the Bunky Bros. But the reason why is that when I got this book, I paid $2,500. I'll never forget. And I got it. I got it in the mail. I put it in my shelf next to AF-15, next to X-Men 1, Avengers 1, Hulk 181. And I was like, I want the next book. It took me forever to get the money to get the FF1, but I already wanted the next book. And I was like, bro, this shit is never going to end. It's like chasing the dragon. You're always going to chase that high. You're never going to run out of keys. And it's harder and harder to get up $3,000 to buy a new key issue. So I was like, you know what? I can't do it with the keys anymore. I'm done. I can't do it. $2,500 is the amount that I recall. Let's go back in time and see if I was right on that. So look, $97.11, as it should be. And this was way back when we never even thought we would see Fantastic Four in the MCU. They were a Fox property. Damn, I don't even think that Fan Four Stick movie even came out yet. $10,000 book on the average based on the last two sales. I mean, it's about a $9,600 to a $10,000 book. as it should be. It was always undervalued. Look here, back in my era, 2,900 in 2015. Let's just go 10 years ago to keep this around the same. 2,400, 2,600. See, it was sub $3,000 book for a little minute. Then it starts to creep up. Oh man, look at the Comic Boom had it at 21,000. Damn. First of all, I took a huge loss on a couple of Fantastic Four issue 4s. Should we look them up? I don't even want to look them up. Amazing Fantasy 15 and a 1.5. It had a detached cover. That always bothered me, even though it was in the slab. Like I talked myself into it, and then once I had it, I hated that it had a detached cover, but it was cool to own. What I did was I sold off all of my minor keys. I had all these Spider-Man villain keys, other heroes. I had all these X-Men kind of $100 to $500 keys, and I told myself, damn, if Spider-Man is my favorite character, why am I collecting all these villain keys? I need to get the first appearance of Peter Parker. If I sold all these slabs and I had a huge Blu-ray collection, I basically sold everything and bought the AF-15 for $5,000, which was crazy. I had never bought anything that expensive before. I was super happy to get it, of course, but I shortly after sold it for $5,000 again, because again, I was broke at this time, man. I was just hustling comics. I was working at a regular job, and I had it on the shelf, and I just would look at it like, damn, that's $5,000, man. I could get new tires on the car, like whatever I was thinking at the time. So I held it for a few months, maybe like 6 months or 8 months or something like that. But it was a weird time. I couldn't get more for it. It wasn't going for more at the time. But once Spider-Man was introduced into the MCU, forget about it. This book took off. 1.5s are going to be kind of tough as well. Oh, I went to Amazing Spider-Man. I need to go to AF-15. I'm bugging out right now. Boom, right on top. Amazing Adult Fantasy. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, so then it turned to Amazing Fantasy with issue 15. Amazing Adult Fantasy makes it sound like it's an X-rated book. It was cool while it lasted, but once I found the omnibus for Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1, I was like, bro, I'm sticking with the omnis. I'd rather be able to read every page of every issue than just have the slab on the shelf, which was cool. I'll save that for the things I'll never buy again video. All right, so 1.5s. See, mine wasn't incomplete. It just had a detached cover. I don't see anything that separates that from a regular. So look, $5,000. The last sale was 17,000. 17.8 was is the 12-month average. 17.7 is last year's average. Damn. So back when I had it, 2015, 2016, look at this. The one I landed on in 2014 in April, 10 years ago. Oh, actually, I'm tripping. We're in 2015, 11 years ago. $5,000. $5,000 again. 2 copies sold. 5,900. Then it spiked up right here, probably right after I sold it. But I bought it for $5,000. I sold it for $5,000. But yo, man, I had a lot of fun going back in time, looking at these old slabs that I used to own. What did I buy them for back then? What are they going for now? Are comic book key issues more affordable? I guess not, man. I guess they still stand the test of time. You're going to have peaks and valleys, ebbs and flows, if you will. But if you hold, you're probably going to make out pretty well. I think the final thought on this is, if you have a key issue comic book and you're upside down on it, if it's worth much less than what you bought it for, you're probably better off holding on to that thing for later on, because as you can see, they typically are going to go up even though they'll spike and everything. So, damn, what do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments down below. Anything that you want to add to it. Appreciate you guys watching. Stay minty fresh. Big shout out to Marvel Strike Force. Peace.